588,300, 44,218, 24,480. According to CDC statistics, as of April 14th, 2020, 588,300 people have gotten the coronavirus. 44,218 have recovered from the virus so far, and 24,480 people have died in the United States from the coronavirus. The coronavirus is a relatively new virus to our society and has completely changed our world. We've seen schools and churches be closed and have transferred to being only online. We've seen beaches, hiking trails, and much more closed to enforce social distancing. People being told to stay at home to limit their time in public, and so much more. During this crisis, it has caused a lot of people to stress and panic. You see people flooding the stores, panic buying every staple item on the shelves. You see people getting violent with store workers and their fellow neighbors from social distancing. We see young teens feeling as though the government has taken away their freedom to go to the beach and to have fun, and going against what the restrictions have been put in place. This chaos has caused a very difficult situation in slowing the spread of the coronavirus, which is why I and many people feel it is important to stay calm and remind people that they need to be staying calm in this crisis and all the other crises that go on every day. So today I'm going to be talking to you about different situations that have ended badly because people are panicking, why it's important to stay calm in a crisis, and how you can stay calm in a crisis. Let's get started. All our lives we are told by our parents, our teachers, and many other people to stay calm in a crisis. However, what we tend to do when something bad happens is panic. Take drowning, for instance. According to the CDC, over 3,500 people die each year from drowning in the United States. When I saw this number, I wondered why. I do know that many of these cases are because young children falling into the pool and dying because they're not able to swim. But on the other side, I saw a big trend on people panicking in the water. The water is a very scary thing for many people, like the ocean. Many people decide not to go in it because of fear. However, when people are in the ocean, they also tend to panic. If they get pulled out too far in the ocean, or they get dragged into the deep end of a pool, they tend to panic, which is causing them to drown because they either freeze and feel hopeless thinking that they're going to die and sink to the bottom, or they tire themselves out by hyperventilating and waving their arms around and thrashing in the water. Take fires, for instance. These are also something that happen on a daily basis. They are also very scary. Intense heat, dark smoke filling through the rooms, bright flames coming at you at every direction. People tend to become very scared in a fire and not know what to do, even though all of our lives we've been taught stop, drop, and roll, and each day we think about the different escape routes that you can take if something bad were to happen, like a fire or a burglary. Many people panic during fires, and I have been told all my life, due to the fact that my grandpa and uncle are firefighters, that many of the people they've seen dying are at doorways because people form crowds and try to force their way out through the door instead of forming a single file line and lining up and calmly leading everyone out the door safely. So why is it good to stay calm in a crisis? Well, if you haven't already noticed, it could save your life. But more specific reasons why it is important is, one, it enables you to think more clearly. According to Dr. Gail Gross, in a crisis, your body tends to overproduce the stress hormone cortisol, which disrupts the prefrontal cortex, which is the critical thinking part of your brain. Which means that when you are panicking, your body is producing that hormone, which is disrupting your logical thinking part of your brain, which means that you're not thinking clearly, and you're typically running on emotions and fear rather than logical thinking. Another reason it is important to stay calm in a crisis is it allows you to take responsibility. If you've seen on many big things that have happened, like a shooting or a fire, people tend to follow what's going on around them. So if they see a crowd forming, they'll form with that crowd. However, if you are able to think clearly in a situation like a fire or a shooting, then you will know that it is not good to form a crowd, that it is good to take shelter and to stay calm and not freak out and follow what everyone's doing around you. Most of the people who are doing like forming a crowd or not able to get out of a building is because they're panicking. So you need to take responsibility, think calmly, and hopefully that everyone else will follow what you are doing because you are able to logically be problem solving rather than frantically running around like chickens without their heads. Here's some solutions that you can do in this crisis and other crises that go on every day. One thing you can do is practice mindfulness. This is a very important thing. If you are able to take a step back and look at the bigger picture, like we in this situation today, then you are able to see that yes, staying home may not be fun, but staying home now means that we can go out later. We can also trust in the heroes. Our heroes of today's crisis are the doctors and nurses who are fighting against this fire on the front line. We need to support them and realize that they are doing the best that they can and trust that they will do the best that they can each day to make sure that this virus goes away. Another thing you can do if we're going through a crisis like we are today is take a walk, exercise, do a hobby that you've always wanted to do, or if it's an emergency that you are not able to do this, then focus on your breathing. Breathing allows your body to relax, and if you are more relaxed, then you are able to produce less of that stress hormone, which is going to allow you to think more clearly. Another thing you can do to stay calm in a crisis is focus on what you've been taught. We know a lot more than we think. You just have to access it. And if you are panicking, you will not be able to access that information, like remembering to stop, drop, and roll in a fire, to follow the 3 F's, flip, float, follow when you are swimming, and to remember the escape routes that you've been taught if a burglar was to enter your home or enter a building, or a shooter or a fire was to break out in your home or any building that you were at. Today I've talked to you about the current crisis that we are in due to the coronavirus, crises that happen like drowning and fires on a daily basis, why it is important to stay calm in a crisis, and how you can stay calm in a crisis. What I'd like to leave you with today is a question. What type of person are you going to be in a crisis? The calm one or the one panicking? Thank you.